Hey guys, Danny from Impress Performance and Race Fab here. As some of you might know, I decided to bite the bullet and start my own YouTube channel. Sort of got to the point where I don't really socialise too much with friends and family and whatnot, and so I'm always either working at my day job or working on cars. So I thought, why not put a channel up there, and people that want to still keep up with what I'm doing can keep up with what I'm doing, and sort of hopefully I might meet some new friends and people and go from there. I'm going to try my best to try and make this as good as I can. Obviously going to be a bit sketchy to start out with, but we'll get there. Bit of a backstory first. I basically done a trade as a fitter machinist, and spent a lot of my time doing some TIG welding and custom fabrication, and long story short, sort of moved jobs a bit later on in my life, and I sort of thought, I really like doing the fabrication and TIG welding and wanted to continue with that. So it's not something that's easily learnt, but probably pretty easy to forget if you went a few years without doing anything, I guess. So I just kept poking along, doing bits and pieces where I could, and basically just been doing the odd jobs here and there for myself, and then that sort of progressed into doing some jobs and stuff for some friends with their cars and whatnot, and sort of progressed from with my own ute. To begin with, once I had it, never even serviced a car before, or serviced that car. Knew nothing about it basically. Went and decided to get some engine work done one day. Got a cam and a diff swap, and livened it up a fair bit, and it was quite fun. We took it to Power Cruise one year and had an absolute ball. You sort of thought your car was fast until you turn up to Power Cruise and realise it's not really that fast. But come back from there with some big plans, and I'm started on a journey. I thought, no, we're gonna come back next year with massive motor, turbos, supercharged, whatever we decided. So I went down that route. I started buying a turbocharger, and I was like, no, I'm gonna fabricate my own turbo kit for my ute, and got all the stuff I needed. And then I sort of started dwelling on me. I was like, I've got all this brand new turbo and stuff. I didn't want to blow the motor up, destroy my new turbo, all the rest. I was basically worried about my new shiny turbo that I had. So slowly decided, I was like, right, I sold everything that I bought for the turbo kit, and I decided to dive in deep. I went and got a big loan and ordered a custom built LSX 427 engine, and mate at the time, he done the same thing. Got another big motor. We got identical motors. Long story short, after a long build and learning how to going from not even servicing my car to attempting to install something like that myself and learn how to do it at the time, while I was waiting for the engine to get built, I ended up just basically not too shy to try new things and learn as I go, and I'm pretty mechanically minded, so I thought, I'll just pull this little piece off and I'll tidy that up. So did that, and then I was like, no, I'll pull another little piece off and I'll tidy that up, make something custom. So I done that, and it soon got to the point where I was waiting for this engine to get built, and I ended up doing everything I possibly could to the whole shell was stripped. It was replaced every bush in it, redone all the brakes, powder coated them all up, learned how to put them back together, new bearings, everything I possibly could. And I thought, oh, I'll do a bit more work. So I started sheet metaling the engine bay. As you know, some of you might not know, VE engine bays are quite open in the front of the wheel wells there. So I sheeted all those in, still waiting for the motor. Finally got the motor. Got it all installed and couldn't decide which way to go with the gearbox. So I was like, righto, we're planning on making, the goal was 1,000 rear wheel horsepower out of this motor. I was like, the stock 6L80E is not really going to be up to the task. So went down a venture, dealt with a business to get a gearbox that would go close to holding the power. Long story short, probably the worst fucking dealings with in my life with this company. Nothing but stuffed around, lies, promises, every excuse under the sun. This went on for about 9 months. Anyways, end up getting the gearbox eventually. Got the motor in, got it ready to roll. Come tune time, had a few hiccups with the motor, had some valve train damage before it was even tuned, before it even got to get tuned. So that was a massive ordeal and had to fix that. Got it sorted. The engine builder worked with me, and he sorted that out. And I was like, oh, well, everyone makes mistakes, so just cop it on the chin and we'll push on through. Got that sorted, got it tuned up, made it about, I'll say 800 metres down the road. First full pull, and destroyed the gearbox. So that was $7,000 nearly down the drain. And that was basically the start of a very bad experience for me. After the amount of stuffing around with this bloke for the gearbox, I just decided to cop it on the chin, and I didn't want to send it back I was like, it took me 9 months to get the gearbox. He's not going to have my money and my gearbox. So copped it on the chin. Anyways, decided to limp it home. I was at the time living an hour away. So I had my wedding coming up, and that's basically the only goal that I wanted was to have my car going, drive my own car to my wedding. And on the way home, I suffered a major engine failure on the way home, trip home. So that was it. Dreams were crushed, but it was the start of a big learning curve for me. I decided from then on I'm going to start trying to do more myself, and sort of drive behind me is to attempt to do stuff myself. Like, the way I see it is, if I try something and fail, I can learn from that, and I can only hate myself for that, but that's learning. Sort of got sick of people letting me down within the build, so I was like, I'm going to try absolutely everything I can myself. So that's where we're at. Long story short, end up years went by, probably, I don't know, from when I started the build till now, probably been about 7 or 8 years. A lot of times I'd get keen and start doing something to this ute of mine, and then get the shits with it, push it back in the shed. But I love building stuff, and there was no way to kill that vibe in me. I just keep like building stuff. Even if I don't get to enjoy the car, I still love building them. That's probably the best part that I like. Being able to drive is just the cherry on the top. So where we're at now, I end up getting another stock motor. Skip forward a bit. Got another stock motor. Built my own turbo kit. Went and got it tuned up. it ended up making on a stock L98 with just a camshaft and lifters and whatnot, with my turbo kit. Made 700 horsepower at the hubs, and drove it home, or put it on trailer, brought it home. There's a few things that I had to fix up with it, the exhaust and whatnot. Silly me, tried to put catalytic converters in the exhaust. New to things, not good for a boosted car. So now it still has some, but well, yeah. Anyways, I got to drive it around for a little bit. I thought, no, I'll drive it to work, and the time we got it tuned, it was running on one fuel pump at that, and we knew it was at the limits. So I was like, all I had to do was, everything was wired up. It's just in the e-boost. I just had to configure it in there, so as soon as it starts seeing a bit of boost, cut the second pump in. I was like, just going to go to work, and I'll, which is an hour away from where I live, and I'll do that when I get home. Well, I made it there and back, but it's not liking things. Little to my knowledge at the time was actually had a massive short within the motor. It was, and I remember doing it now when I was clearancing the main power cable to the starter motor. Sort of tucking it in there. It was all heat shielded, everything, so it wouldn't melt, and I was pushed it all, tucked it in there away, and I remember at the time it arced out. I was like, oh shit. Anyways, and as you do, I just done a little bit of work, and then a couple of days later I come back and done a little bit more work, but I forgot